Good morning and welcome to the DFS Army YouTube channel. I am Razzle11, and you can find me on X at Razzle11Grinds. Going to take a look at some pitching for today, the 12th of June. It is Wednesday. We do have a 4-game day slate, followed by an 8-game main slate this evening. And we will take a look at pitching for both of them quickly. A reminder, this is a first look at the pitching options on the slate. I try to go more in depth for the members at DFS Army, and I will be looking at DraftKings since that is where a majority of my action is. On FanDuel, I would cut it into a third or a half, depending, as we just don't have to be as creative. Obviously, only have to use one pitcher, but pricing isn't as tight on FanDuel as it is on DraftKings. So stacking uh, is a lot easier to make happen. But let's dig in with the day games. We do have some potential weather in Minnesota, from my understanding. Trying to get to our weather station. I'm going to guess it's not going to be terrible, but there's still some potential delay risks. The wind is blowing out in Minnesota as well, blowing out in San Francisco for this day slate. So, uh, some interesting spots to attack offensively, but we're here to talk about pitching. Top option is going to be Michael King against Oakland. He's been really strong. I expect him to be the highest owned on this slate, which is understandable. Logan Webb at home, day game. He might be viable. It is Houston. I don't like taking pitching against them. Obviously, their lineup has been weakened without Tucker. But Logan Webb at home is an actual thing, so I do have to consider him. Now, his Ks haven't been there at home, but he's just always been so strong when pitching at home. He was decent against the Yankees, a couple mistakes, um, but overall not too bad. He dominated Dodger squad at home. Um, so I think, and especially given that it's a short slate, we do have to include him in our pool. Pablo Lopez, as long as the weather's all right, I'll be going to him. But man, his recent performances have just not been great. He was excellent against Houston, but aside from that, uh, hasn't been all that impressive. He's a minus 238 favorite. His K prop is 6.5 juice on the over. Logan Webb's K prop 4.5 juice on the over. Michael King's K prop was 6.5 with juice on the over as well. Um, so I would guess it's King 1 with Pablo Lopez 2. Framber Valdez probably 3 with Logan Webb being 4 on this slate. Framber, he's all over the place. Back-to-back strong starts. Complete game last time out. 106 pitches. Um, kind of a jump in pitch numbers. Second time over 100 pitches this year. Um, his performance just have been all over the place, but I think I'm interested enough. 4.5 is a K prop with juice strongly on the over. He's a slight underdog, but this game has a total of 7.5 with juice on the under as of right now. Um, so I think he's definitely an option. Um, I think that's really it. I mean, we could use Chris Bassett, but he's been all right. He just hasn't been as great as previous years. Even though 3 out of his last 4 starts have been really strong. Uh, Unfortunately, those 3 starts have come against the 2 worst teams in baseball, in my opinion, in the White Sox and the A's. The A's was a big emotional one for him back to Oakland. Um, so I don't know, coming back off of that start, I could see a little bit of a hiccup here. As most of you know, I'm not a huge Milwaukee fan as it is, so I don't mind using pitching against them from time to time. But uh, I'm not sure. He's probably going to make the 5-man pool or so for this 4-game slate, but I also could see myself going with these 4 and just focusing on getting my stacks right, etc. Hogan Harris hasn't been too bad. And San Diego has had some struggles against left-handed pitching. Game total is 8 on the under, so um, maybe I could understand people talking about him, but I don't think I'm going to get there. Let's switch over to the main slate here. We get Sonny Gray against Pittsburgh. Last night game between these two, just didn't see any runs scored. Sonny Gray had an elite start to the season. Had some elite starts since then, but he's also had some struggles. Walks have come up. Ks have kind of come down a little bit overall. I think we have to be interested in Sonny Gray, but I don't love it. I guess. I mean, it's Pittsburgh, so I should love most pitching against them. K prop 6.5 juice on the over. He's a minus 175 favorite, so um, he's definitely going to be somebody we're using, but I don't know if we need to be forcing a ton of exposure to him. He's clearly the best pitcher on the slate. Maybe not the most exciting, but clearly the best pitcher. I'm just trying to look for reasons to not have to go super heavy on and rely on Sonny Gray, but it might just turn out to be that kind of slate where we just have to at this point. Nick Lodolo, one of my favorite younger pitchers in baseball. Problem is, he's taking on Cleveland. Cleveland's not a huge K team, but I'm intrigued a little bit here in Lodolo. I think he's the type of pitcher that could get some strikeouts out of Cleveland. He has plenty of upside. He's a minus 115 favorite. Game total of 8.5. A little higher up on the scale, but juice is on the under. His K prop 6.5. Juice is on the under, but a 6.5 K prop feels pretty nice to attack. So uh, I like the GPP upside out of Lodolo. Uh, from a volatility standpoint, I'd probably rather take Gray. If you're trying to be safe. Nick Pivetta, I really like Pivetta, but I'm not sure that I want to go there against Philadelphia. He did just dominate Atlanta um, after Atlanta had crushed him earlier this year, so maybe he's got some things figured out a little bit. K prop is 6.5, but juice is on the over. Um, he's a small underdog. The big issue for me is he could have home run issues at times, and this Philadelphia squad can definitely hit a bunch of home runs. Probably a matchup I'd want to go and dig into deeper to get an idea. Bryce Miller, probably the chalkiest option on the slate, coming off of getting spanked, is now facing the weakest lineup in baseball, in my opinion. Even though a few of the guys have been hotter, still a K prop of 6.5. Juice is on the under, but a 6.5 K prop. He's a minus 245 home favorite. Game total of 7.5 with juice on the under as well. Um, been a little bit more volatile, but I like the upside that he offers. I would expect a little bit of a bounce back here. More than one strikeout, definitely. So I think he's going to be one of the most popular on the slate. Tanner Bybee, his K prop is 6.5 as well in this game. Both pitchers in this game with K props of 6.5. Bybee definitely going to be interested. We know the Reds definitely can strike out in bunches. He is a slight underdog in this one, but um, and, I mean, normally I don't take a ton of pitching in this ballpark, but I do happen to like both these guys on the mound today, so I think there's GPP upside from both of them. So I don't mind taking my chances with them. Skipping over Walker Buehler, I thought we saw it against Cincinnati, and then since then he's just been not very good again. Um, I'm gonna need to see some more consistency out of him. Uh, I know Texas has been weakened without Seager the last handful of games. Adolis Garcia is struggling quite a bit, but it's still a lineup that I don't really want to deal with, especially with a pitcher that has struggled. Um, Christopher Sanchez, I think, is definitely in play. Not a huge K guy. but he is a minus 122 favorite in this one. K prop of 5.5, which seems like an aggressive K prop. His Ks are all over the place, but I do think he's very viable against this Boston squad. Um, especially with Tyler O'Neill banged up. He's the big guy against left-handed pitching that always can worry you. Um, I do think Sanchez is certainly viable. He's definitely pitched much better than an 8K pitcher on the season. John Gray against the Dodgers, no thanks. Soriano, um, he's had some impressive performances this year. K's haven't been there the last couple. He kind of bumps all around. I probably don't mind him. His K prop's 4.5, but juices on the under. Uh, he's an underdog. I normally like this Arizona squad, but they can show some struggles against right-handed pitching, which is really shocking to me. Um, so he's somebody that I might consider including in my pool. He may not make my final pool, but he's somebody worth at least thinking about on this slate. Braxton Garrett coming off of a rough start, had an elite start against Arizona. Was hit hard by this Mets squad just under a month ago, but this Arizona start shows you the kind of upside that we see out of Braxton Garrett. I am slightly interested in him. He is an underdog, but the game total is 7.5. K prop 4.5 juice on the under, which isn't exciting, but there's plenty of upside, so I am going to want to utilize him. Um, Obviously, I will definitely look to stack the Met side in my MME builds, but certainly an interest in Garrett. Poteet, I'm just not going to go there. Like I feel like he's pitching way over his head. He's got to come back down. I'm just going to skip over it and hope that he doesn't continue it. So it's Coney. Uh, I'm going to have some interest, but maybe not a ton. I definitely would rather use right-handed pitching against LA than left-handed pitching. Um, his K prop is just 3.5. Juice is on the over, very strongly on the over. He's a minus 148 favorite, but it's not really all that exciting. So it might be a guy that I just don't want to utilize. Bailey Falter, some strong starts this year, so I am interested in Falter as well. Um, do have to dig in some more. K prop of just 3.5 though, so that's one of my worries. But I feel like over on that should be pretty solid. Um, David Peterson, I'm definitely going to take him against the Marlins. Minus 155 on his K prop, actually. Excuse me, at 4.5. For some reason I thought I was reading the game line. Um, he is minus 155 favorite as well, so maybe I was, but price point wise, he does have upside. He hasn't shown it in his two starts this year, but he hasn't been terrible in either of them as well. His Ks haven't been there, which obviously can be a worry. But in past seasons, he has shown us plenty of upside at times. So um, definitely going to be interested there. But there we have it. There's kind of the first look at pitching. Uh, I don't think I'm going to use Cannon. I'm not sure if he's stretched out enough. I have to see what he had done in the minor leagues when he was sent down just to see. But we know that he has plenty of K upside in the matchup. I'm just not sure he's worthy of going to. So, but again, that's the look at pitching. If you enjoy what I bring to you, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, turn the notification bell on, get the alert anytime we drop videos here at DFS Army. If you want to get access to our coaches, tools, sheets, Discord, etc., I'll put links in the description below. You can use promo code RAZ, that's RAZ, for 10% off monthly. And as always, best of luck, everybody.